Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Transformers review, official Transformers review, since I believe you have to specify these kinds of things lately. And today on the table, we're going to be taking a look at one of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee series figures, the recently defunct Buzzworthy Bumblebee. We're going to take a look at Studio Series Cliffjumper, and yeah, there he is before us. And I would just real quick want to give another shout out to JJ. He is a very good friend and high supporter of the channel. He lends me pretty much all of these mainline figures. I think there's only going to be like 2 or 3 of them that I actually purchased for myself, so everything that you see here today is from him out of the goodness of his heart. So again, we are really happy to have him as a supporter of the channel, and he did lend me the box this time. He felt it would be necessary to this review, and of course it's kind of a tribute to, Buzzworthy, since it's no longer Buzzworthy. They're strictly, I guess these are strictly Target exclusives now with whatever line they are, but you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But since we have the box here, let's do our due diligence and take a good look at the box. Of course, we have the Buzzworthy Bumblebee outlying Studio Series Transformers, and then of course we do have the RC on the side. We got Bumblebee right there, and then of course his name is Cliffjumper from Hasbro, and then we have on the side Cliffjumper looking all menacing and growly and angsty like he's constipated, and we have a little cannon with him. Transformers a movie, authentic Transformers, since we gotta specify that thing these days. And we have a nice little comic book shot of Optimus and a few various other Transformers. And on the back we have him in row mode, him in car mode. You can, let's see, pause and read the description if you so desire. We have him with the basic display, and we have a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo on the bottom, and on the top we have Takara Tommy and Transformers Generations. That's it for the box. Real quick, we'll take a look at the instructions, and it's just a very small pamphlet of goodness, but you can see everything he does, all the cool stuff he can do with the accessories. We have all his little steps to transformation. We'll get to this. There he is in car mode, and that's pretty much it for his material. And let's talk about Studio Series Cliffjumper, and straight away I'm going to tell you as a preface to this that I have mixed feelings about this figure, but we will get to that. So let's zero in on his face sculpt, and there he is, got the nice, it's hard to see, but he does yeah, there you go, you can see a little bit. He has a nice blue over the eyes. Face sculpt really well done for mainline, looks really good. He has a little chin goatee right there. You got a ton of molded detail on the helmet, cast in red plastic, got lines all over here. You do have the nice blue over the windows and whatnot. That does look very good. I know a lot of figures don't do that. You have the Autobot symbol right on his chest, little mini bot thing. Everything else done in a very nice black. I believe this is fully painted right here. It does look very good. And then of course you have the car front on his feet done in red plastic. You can see it pretty much, I mean, it really does do a good job of hiding a lot of the kibble. You do got a little bit of waffles heading up on the lower leg. It's a mainline mini bot. What do you want? And you do got some visibility showing through here on the little base of the feet. The back end, they cover up the back of the feet quite well. It actually does a really good job of covering up the back quite well. And of course you got the whole car on his back here. It is molded plastic, which you got some silver up here. We'll talk about that more in car mode. You got the blue right back here. So overall, a very good looking figure. As far as this articulation goes, the head does swivel. I believe it's on a ball joint, and it can look up the slightest bit. Basically looks straight on. The arm is on a rotation. It can rotate all the way around very nicely too, very smooth like butter. Rotates up a little bit just like that. You do have bicep rotation. You can get a 90 at the elbow, and you can get a wrist swivel. Move the arms out because you get a waist swivel. You can of course do a fusion kick. You can get it all the way back for a fusion back kick, and all the way outside for all the fusion kicks. You do have a thigh swivel, and then you do have 90 at the knee, and you do have pretty much nothing, no down or up at the toe, but you can get ankle tilt for days, and that's pretty much it for his articulation. And we'll talk about his accessories, which in my opinion are one of the best parts about this guy. And you do get 2 of these little blaster style pieces. They are cast in black plastic, but they do have a very nice bright blue paint. It's like a lighter blue, metallic blue. It looks really good. Looks really nice. A little bit of molded detail on the side, but pretty void. And you got tons of slots. You got pegs all over here, so you can do all kinds of stuff. And I'll show you what kinds of stuff. So first things first, you can of course plug them into the hand, so you can do wield if you so desire. And there we go. We can have that going on. Alternatively, he does also come with these 2 tiny pieces right here. They're just cast in black plastic, and these have a number of uses. So the first thing you can do is you do have slots on the side of here. You can just plug them in to either one, and he can kind of, I guess, look like he's going Tech 9 on someone. They look like magazines for the guns, which does look pretty cool. And then, of course, you do have this one final piece right here. It does have a few lighter shades of metallic blue paint on it, but mostly it is going to be cast in black plastic. Got a nice little rail piece right here. And this piece actually does open up. It's on a hinge right here and just kind of opens up for reasons. And you do have a number of ways this can be hooked in. So you have a tab right here, and you notice on his shoulder you have a little slot right there, and you just kind of plug this on his shoulder. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be representing, but I guess it kind of looks cool, so whatever. And of course what we can do is we can actually combine these as well. So you can take this out of his hand, you could plug this right into here, and then of course you can take this out of his hand and you can plug this right up front here, and you can move this little magazine piece, you can move it right up front, and you can get the little stabilizer, and you basically got his bazooka from More Than Meets the Eye, which is pretty cool, and he can hold that quite well. Yeah, he holds this with the greatest of ease, so it does look very, very good. It looks very menacing, and of course, if you want to store it in the robot mode, you can of course plug it into his backpack as well, and that's pretty much the port where he plugs into vehicle mode. And yeah, I'm okay with this. It kind of gives him kind of a gung-ho look, you know, carrying the bazooka on his backpack and give him a little running pose. That is pretty neat. But of course, you can take his whole backpack off, yes, and you can give him it's got this little port right back here that does swivel. Oh. And you can put it in his hand, and you can give him a little hat shield, which I guess is okay. Again, it just like fits in right to the port right back here when you don't want to use it. So I guess that is kind of cool. And this hinge doesn't like to hold that as well. So, and lastly but not least, he does come with the display base, which is part of the box. You can see that it is going to be basically Moonbase 1 right behind him. So you could put him in there, and he could try to defend Moonbase 1 with his little shield and his bazooka, saying, hey Unicron, come and get it, punk. So there he is on his little display base, and that's pretty much it for his accessories. Quite a lot going around here, and a lot of cool variation, especially out of the cannon piece. And we'll do a couple quick comparisons. So the first one, we'll do my figure. We'll do the SS86 Hot Rod, so you can see how he looks. And I think this is a pretty solid scale. Cliffjumper is a mini bot, of course, and this is his soon-to-be new commander. So they look very good together. And then we'll bring in a couple loaners from JJS. These are all loaners. No, I did not go out and get a second SS86 Bumblebee. He got this one himself. We have SS86 Bumblebee and Brawn. So you can see how they look. And I'm all for this. These guys look right on par with one another. I'm actually, for as many mold changes as there are to these guys, I actually think they fit in quite well. So they look very, very good. And that's going to be pretty much it for our robot mode comparisons. All right, and it is time to get Mr. Cliffjumper transforming up into his Porsche alternate mode. And straight away, this is where I kind of start having issues with this figure. So let's get right down to it. And the first thing we want to do is pull off his backpack. Yep, that's right. He's a parts former. And what you can do for some preparatory work is you can just fold this in, leave this off to the side just for now. Then what we'll do is we'll take his waist, rotate it all the way around 180, and then you could bring the arm back like this. It's just double hinged at the elbow, and then just bring it up just like that, and you can just fold this down. It's a loose tabbing in right over here. Just kind of bring that out to the side. Same thing for his other arm. Bring this up like this, bring this up like this, and just fold this down, and you could bring down the chest piece, just has a hinge right here, and bring up this piece to cover up his face, and then you can close up the chest just like that, and it'll just kind of tab in right down here just like that, nice and cohesive. Then what we want to do is we want to bring down the waist. Now the waist comes down on this hinge right here, so you can just bring it down all the way just like that. Make sure it stays down, and you're gonna bring back these side panel pieces. You can see you have a tab right in the back of the arm that is gonna go into a slot right here. So bring this all the way back just like that. Same thing with the other side. Make sure this stays down. And what we can do next is we can start transforming the feet. So you could bring out this piece, just tabs in right to one of the wheel spokes. And as you bring it up at the thigh, you can start bringing down the foot just like that. And we can just tab this in either side. It's supposed to tab it at the front, and you can just tab this in right along here. Kind of takes a little bit of finagling, and then you can just bring out the wheel piece just like that. Going to be the same thing on the other side. You just bring up the leg. You could fold this out, and as you're bringing up the leg, you just bring down the foot piece on this hinge right here. And you have a tab right here. It's going to go into a slot right over here. And again, you're just going to tab everything in, just get it nice and cohesive. Tab it in all at the front and rotate out the wheel. And last but not least, you're going to be using his hands real quick, and you do have these two posts right here on the back half, and you're just going to bring this down. Just kind of post it into his hands. They're going to hold on to it, and you just bring this down. That'll lock everything together. And like magic, there we have Studio Series Cliffjumper in his Porsche alternate mode. And let's get a good look at that vehicle mode. And right off the bat, you know what? For all the parts forming and whatnot, I'm a fan of this. This looks good. I know that he typically takes off the penny racer vibe, but ultimately, I pretty much always preferred Cliffjumper's alternate mode is Porsche 924 Turbo alternate mode. I really do like the better lines of the Porsche. In fact, during one of my Masterpiece reviews, if you saw my X-Transbots Toro review, I praised that because it stayed true to the Porsche versus the penny racer mode, which is more animation accurate. But nevertheless, let's get a look at it, and you see it's got that Porsche front end without actually trying to be a Porsche. You see you got the little pop-up headlights outlines. Got a little intake scoop right there. You got the scoop right here as well. It looks really good. Autobot symbol right where it should be. It just looks very good. The slightest bit of paint on the little running lights down here, and of course you got paint on the little air dam type area. It does look very good. Nice little strip of silver to make everything nice and cohesive. All the lines of the car, you got the little door handles molded in, got the nice little wheel arches and whatnot. Well, again, blue painted in. This whole hatch piece is painted as well over the red plastic. It actually melds in really well with the red plastic. Got the nice blue paint right back here, and we talked about this previously, but they got the tail lights painted in silver. You can see the dual exhaust right side here. You got a little bit of hands sticking out, but it is what it is. I'm not too upset. Actually, I do like how you got silver or the gray and black down here. It kind of gives the illusion of car parts. And of course, you do got the wheels very nicely done on black plastic with silver paint on the spokes. Does look very good. It does roll extremely nicely on my table. And of course, you can bring in his accessories, and what you can do here is you can basically take these off just like this, and you can kind of plug them in just using this piece. You can plug them into the little side right here. This is how the instructions want you to do it. And again, you can plug these into the side and just turn this right over here, and you can plug it right on here, and that does look ridiculous as ever. But there is more. So what we can do, take this apart. What we can do is we can take this apart. We can take this apart. We can take this whole thing apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this piece right here, and you're going to be using this port right here. And you can see he's got the same back port where you plugged in his shield / hatch, and you're just going to plug this in right down here. And then what we can do is we can take these pieces out, and you'll love this. You'll see, you can see where we're going with this. You're going to use these little grabs right here, and what you're going to do is you're just going to plug them into the slots right along here, and you can plug them into this slot over, if it'll plug in for me. And you can take these pieces, and what we're going to do is we are just going to use these little side pieces, these little side panels right along, you're going to use these slots right here on the little handles, and you're just going to plug them in right there. Sorry about that. So same thing for the other side. Just going to use the little slot on the inside of the panel and just plug it into that tab right there. If it'll ever plug in. And this is, now I can get on board with this. This is how I would pose him in vehicle mode. You got the little, that thing from the one episode where he is on the little skis, and when I got little boosters back here, which I'm perfectly on board with. But again, I just think that's a really nice touch, especially with all those accessories. Great way to kind of load them. And again, if this is how I was going to put everything together with him on a display, this is how I would do it. Real quick, let me take all of this off of him so we can get a few quick comparisons Not that it would matter, but there he is, and we'll bring in Mr. SS86 Hot Rod so you can see how they look. The Cybertronian sports car and the actual Earth sports car, so you can see how they look. And then, of course, we'll bring in SS86 Brawn and SS86 Bumblebee, so you can see how they all look together. And I know that that Cliffjumper might be getting the SS86 treatment to be more in line with the Bumblebee mode, but quite frankly, if I had this on my shelf, I would pretty much stick with this because I think he fits the robot proportions fine, and I do like the car mode quite a lot better than the Penny Racer version. And that's going to be pretty much it for the comparisons in car mode. And let's sum it up for the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Cliffjumper. And this guy is kind of a mixed bag for me. On the downside, he is a parts former. Yes, I know his back hatch does become a shield, but I'm just one of those guys. And I know that there's quite a few of us out there that just, you know, it should be just one nice cohesive transformation. But that being said, I think the positives on this guy outweigh that one massive negative. For one, his robot mode looks nice and cohesive. I love the way this guy articulates and moves. He looks really, really good. He's kind of up there on Toro levels with Toro from X-Transbots almost. And this guy's a mainline figure. I do like the use of paint on the chestial area. I think that's quite nice. And the accessory is really neat. Again, you can get the bazooka look. You can get a whole ton of cool looks from the accessory. I do quite dig it. I think it is one of the high points of this figure. Transformation, same for the parts forming, is fun and enjoyable, and I do quite like the vehicle mode. Again, I'm happy they stuck to the real world Porsche 924. That is a very handsome looking car, so I'm just kind of happy that they went with that. Even if they make another one of this guy later on that shares the SS86 Bumblebee mold, this is the guy that I'd keep in my collection because the robot mode stays really true in terms of scale, and I do quite like the vehicle mode. And that is being said, I'm going to recommend this guy if you can find him, as I do believe he is on the older side, and I believe he was a Target exclusive. But again, if I see him at a brick and mortar store online in their catalog, I will post a link to that. But otherwise, I'm not going to post a link in my description because, again, you can probably check eBay for this guy. He might be there as well. And that is going to conclude this review. So if you guys know what to do at this point, hit that like button down below if you found this review fun and informative. It does help me out. I do greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I do Transformers reviews, both of the mainline and Masterpiece variety and the third-party and official variety. So if that is something that interests you, definitely check those out. I'll put a link below to my mainline Transformers playlist, but you can check out my other playlists as well. And I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making me a part of your collecting journey. Good night.